It was very tough. It was extremely tough. You have to plan a lot. I was very, very young, so I made a lot of mistakes. I'm sure I will continue to make more along the way. But I tried to be there as much as I could. My husband had actually had a very massive stroke from an aneurysm, so he was more or less bedridden. Had to go through 19.5-hour brain surgery to be able to just live. And he recovered eventually, he became much better. But during those years when I had to find a job, I did a lot of teaching and I had to prepare things for everybody and be home on time. So the telephone, and it was not handphones, it was landlines. You call, you make sure everybody's okay and keep checking in. It was very difficult. But I think my children understand. They do now, and they don't hold it against me, because putting food on the table was my primary motive. There was, everything else would happen. There was always somebody or the other who would help with things. But I think they understand, and they love me in spite of it, so I'm blessed. His delivering newspapers was actually not to contribute to the family, but for him to learn, because they always wanted to have those little matchbox cars. They wanted to have this, that, and the other. Having grown up in a family, in a very privileged life, where I had whatever I wanted, more or less. Not as much as young people have today. We were very disciplined, but we had a lot. And it was difficult for me not to be able to give them that. But on hindsight, I would say I'm very glad that my children had way less, because they appreciate what they have. So when my son was 9, he said he'd like to deliver newspaper, because to him it sounded like fun, pushing a little trolley along and having newspapers. And the gentleman for whom he was working, a newspaper man, he was very nice. He would take little stacks of paper and put them around. We lived in ports down near those old black and white places, and he would do that. And a lot of my customers lived around those areas, so they would recognize him and say, "Oh, you're Ira's son, come, 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 have a cup of Milo. Come, 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 have a little bun." And he would come running home holding his trousers. "Move out of my way, move out of my way, I need to go to the loo." And then he said, "Please tell your friends, don't feed me, I'm working. They're not supposed to feed me." And he was 9, but he earned $105 for the month. It was holiday time. He used to wake up at 5 in the morning, put on his yellow galoshes and his raincoat just in case in December, and he would deliver papers. And he was so proud, and he bought me a set of pencils as my Christmas present. Wow. And he paid for his own school books, because he said since he had earned the money, he really didn't need mine. I don't think he understood at that age what he was doing, but he enjoyed it. And I have always encouraged the children that if you need something, there were times when it was very difficult to be able to give them things. And so I had a limit for them. I said, "This is what I can give you for your shoes." You know, the Caterpillar shoes were coming on and everybody wanted to wear Doc Marts. So I encouraged them to work, to earn the money. I would give them $30, which was really difficult at that point. So it was very difficult, but they did learn to work. They worked as waiters. One of my sons went to strap cargo in a friend's company. And what they learned was that you're not doing this so you can contribute to the food that we have, but you're buying something for yourself that you will treasure more. Because when you get something, you have no value. If you have nieces, nephews, children, you'll realize when you give something all the time, "Mama, I want this, Papa, I want this." After 2 days, where is the toy? It's gone. They don't value it because it's coming. It's easy come, easy go. But when they have to strive for it. So I really believe we need to give people a chance to want to strive, to want to achieve. Getting everything on a plate, sorry, you're not entitled. Nobody is.